Okay, so welcome again, and we will be listening now to the ballad by a composer who is, a very, very well-known violinist. In my own personal experience, what I try to do is I take about 80 or 90% of his bowings, and there are really serious consideration for me for those works. I think that if we rely on at least 80% or 90% on his own bowings and fingerings, then we have a very, very good idea. The other thing that I want to say is the meaning is not really to concentrate on the skill itself, but rather to be a human being. He writes that specifically, be a human being, be a poet, suffer the ballad. In other words, show your personality as the music actually requires of you to show. So, Hélène, why don't we play this piece? Okay, well done. You showed the basic characteristic of this ballad. It's simple to understand. It can be very detailed, but the concept and the principle is simple. It's a hero that fights a losing fight, perhaps a Don Quixote in some countries. Important little fact, but important, is the difference between piano and pianissimo. The pianissimo that comes later, okay, first of all, the introduction before the molto moderato quasi lento has no bars. So we're very, very free indeed. But then, and I like the fact that you didn't make a diminuendo. So many players, for example, I hear make a diminuendo there, I think basically, and many, many, many teachers will agree with me that it's wrong. There should be no diminuendo there on that forte. And then, of course, comes the pianissimo. The pianissimo and the piano should have some sort of a relationship with each other, because you start with the piano, but there you end up with the pianissimo. Another question, another interesting question about the first statement is I'm always wondering personally when and where people are going to start vibrating. A lot of people start with no vibrato, or it's a question. I mean, I personally would start thinking about vibrato where the crescendo is written. You have a lot of flexibility on where and how you do things. But what I was missing is again, two legatos. To me, those details are important. Okay, start from the beginning, for example. Just so that we understand, so there is some sort of a clarity. Start from the beginning then. Yeah. Try to be not cheap, meaning don't give up your card so quickly by being tempted to make a glissando because it sounds nice and because we're violinists. Okay? Try. Also think about where do you really want to start vibrating. Okay, much better. I mean, I find that to be better. Okay, and now we move on. There I can accept. Then you create a color of a ballad or imagination or something that is spooky, something that is strange in this case. I mean, he's using strange and unusual harmonies. We want to emphasize as players his complete detachment, almost coldness. Okay, go on. Yeah, that I hear, and this, if you want to use his fingering, and she's right, okay, we don't want to hear that. Not there, it would be, to me, that would be wrong. In pianissimo, at the softest spot, make sure that your fingers are shifted without sound, you know? Okay. If we follow the score closely, then we'll see. That's what you did. I mean, to me, that's losing the pianissimo. We're still in pianissimo, yeah? It's the beginning, yeah? We don't want to give our cards away so quickly. Yeah, but then sforzando, yes? Surprise. Slow bow speed, fast bow speed. Yeah, a little higher. Again, the play or playfulness of bow speed and how much bow is really needed. If you go on a diminuendo, and it would be difficult for you to use the same exact bow speed. The pianissimo is killed. Again, as you could tell, I'm free, perhaps I'm doubling with a bow or reducing another, etc., etc. But at any rate, not using too much bow. Not using too much bow because we're in a diminuendo mode. Yes, try. Okay, then there is another dimension of you're free. You're much freer here, but then there is another consideration of when you're too free, it becomes at a certain point you lose the audiences. The point is that you're in a very loose statement, you're by yourself, it's a solo violin, you're trying to present a certain sound, but you're trying not to lose it. You're trying not to lose the statement, yeah? Be-da-bum. Then you create the atmosphere, but don't lose the atmosphere by playing things too long, because you're going to be losing your audiences. Yes, try. Good, not bad. For me, borderline. You almost lost me. Almost. Yes, it is lento. Yes, it is sostenuto, but it's also recitativo. Recitativo is in a telling story mode. In fact, very much a ballad is a storytelling. Yes, it's very much related to literature, etc. Down, away, and so what happens next? This is the way you will captivate your audience, right? I find your E flat low on it, and you can. It's not criminal to vibrate there to support your sforzando. See, I mean, I did something. I did two things. I moved the tempo just a little bit, and then became a bit theatrical. Just remember one thing, that you never, or people really so rarely play the same work of Isai exactly in the same way as they did the one last time before. So this is a bit looser. Okay, fine, you can, this is your chance to be the human being, the poet, the desperate person, the wishful human being that Isai is actually asking you to be when he writes those sonatas. Yeah? So let's play this statement again. Okay, the thing that you didn't do, and I very much would welcome it, although it has little to do with the work itself, is I want you to reduce the length of your bow as you make a diminuendo. This way it will become very clear. The other thing that I would like you to do is to stop your bow. Stop your bow. It's nice to be excitement like that, but I need to know that as a violinist you are still able to stop your bow because there is a full break there. So the bow is stopped. Yes, even if we are emotionally on the edge, okay? Okay, good. Excellent. Really excellent. But consider one thing. There are two pauses there. 8-note pauses. They are not equal. Okay? But they cannot be too far from each other. Okay, very good. Again, piano, pianissimo, piano. This is how you should look at it. Piano in the beginning, pianissimo, piano. Louder a little. And the other thing that you didn't do. relates to each other. This is one of the connecting points, separate and connected. Yeah, at the end, regardless of what option you take, why are we rushing on this? That's the top of the mountain. Both exist. We need to get to the top, we need to stay at the top, and we cannot hold on to the top because we need to move on. No, it's too short. Hold it, yes. Yeah, it's painful. I mean, by reducing your bow, by feeling uncomfortable, we arrive at the dimensional spirit. Top of the mountain. Now we roll down. That's, to me, that's a bit of the desperation, human desperation. Now it's still too short for me. The top note is too short for me. Yes. No, don't rush, don't rush. Good. Hold, 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 hold. Hold, 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 hold. Hold as long as you can. Yeah, two things. We are in pianissimo, and when you play the last note, just the note before that, okay, the forte, he writes tenuto. So tenuto means no accent. Many players do this. Or I think those are wrong. Tenuto, tenuto forte. Good. Still too low. To me it's low. Little higher. Little higher. Yes. Yes. That's the way it's written exactly. It's not necessarily, of course, it could be interpreted this way, but again, it's loose. If you really follow in a crazy way that sforzando, it's written after the note. It could be interpreted both ways. Or start at last statement. Your breaks before and after are of 1/4. And remember, there are we have no bars. I don't agree with the. Again. With still some clarity has to be there, just without anything. It's, look, it connects. Okay, again, could be interpreted in a loose way, but here Isai, being the brilliant man and brilliant composer that he is, already imposes bars on you. Little fact, but a very interesting fact. Before that, he lets you loose. Now he wants you to form yourself very slowly into same bowings and it's original, yeah, it's 3/3. That's one technical detail. And also what I thought was missing is, look, he emphasizes twice, animandosi e poco a poco accelerare. So he's using in effect both languages, saying, okay, now you will accelerate, now really do accelerate. So dominant to tonic, yes? In other words, yes, now we need an emotional avalanche. It's an avalanche, yeah? We need it. We need it there, not stopping or not being too careful. He also wants to show his human side, and that is, yes, we are a bit confused human beings, and this is why we write ballades in our life. So he's asking you to be also a human being. Okay, you might miss a note or half a note. Yeah, but he's animato. Okay? I think you're overusing your bow. It is not serving you, it is not giving you really an advantage. What we want to hear is parara, para, tara, 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 daga, 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 daga. Look, there is a rhythmic consequence. Those are triplets. Okay, then we have 16th notes. And then we have 5 per bar. We want to hear that metric relationship clear as well. Yes?